Milo Murphy's Law is a show on Disney XD, and it's made by the same people who created Phineas and Ferb. San Diego Comic-Con has been giving us a ton of cartoon news, and something we just found out is that Disney XD is having a Milo Murphy's Law Phineas and Ferb crossover sometime next year. The creators, Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy Marsh, have planned on doing this crossover since the very beginning of Milo Murphy's Law. There have been a bunch of different Easter eggs connecting these two shows, and the creators have even confirmed that they both live in the same town of Danville. We don't know a ton of specific details to the crossover right now, but we do know that the crossover will feature characters like Perry the Platypus, Doofenshmirtz, Candace, Isabella, Baljeet, and Buford.
It was a whole lot of fun, but a whole lot of work. We were exhausted for a decade, counting years, that's 10. So what are we gonna do now that it's come to an end?
Relax,
Take a break?
try not to overextend.
No, we're gonna do it again! With Milo Murphy's Law, you might know the name from all the promos you saw.
We've always known that Milo lives just a couple neighborhoods away from Phineas and Ferb, Povenmire and Marsh said in a joint statement. We've planted lots of clues and Easter eggs in this first season, so a lot of fans have figured it out. But what they don't know is that the story arc of Milo Murphy's Law has been designed from the very beginning to lead us to a big crossover with all the Phineas and Ferb characters. It's planned for early in the second season, and we can't wait for the fans to see these two worlds collide.
It was the first day of summer. Everything seemed normal. I just finished assembling a cool science project in my backyard when suddenly... Done! I used to love roller coasters.
Now honestly, that really surprises me because when cartoons do a crossover episode, usually it's just out of the blue. Like it happens and then we just move on. But apparently Dan and Jeff have been hinting at this crossover ever since the beginning of the show, and honestly I haven't really watched much of Milo Murphy's Law until now. Like I've seen some episodes but not too many. I guess I'll go back and watch them all to try to pick up the hints for the crossover. I didn't really know there was a story arc in Milo Murphy's Law because I just assumed it was like Phineas and Ferb. But I think this crossover has huge potential. I mean, this will be the first Phineas and Ferb content we're getting in several years. You have to keep in mind it ended in 2015 and it was the type of show that had a lot of fans. Phineas and Ferb definitely wasn't one of the best cartoons around. I know it got repetitive, but overall it was a solid show in my opinion. If I had to take a few guesses as to what the actual plot will be, I'm assuming that Milo is going to help Phineas and Ferb with a brand new invention, and then they'll get into their usual hijinks and it'll play out basically how you'd expect.
Meet Milo, the youngest in the Murphy family. Lives his whole life inside a cyclone of calamity.
For someone who handles adversity with such poise, where in the world would we find the right
The
voice?
Disney casting department has never steered foul.
So we called them up and said, we want Weird Al. They just made it happen. Here he is at a recording.
And here's a bunch of random shots of people's stories.
One thing fans are probably wondering is when this upcoming crossover episode will take place in the timeline. Because Milo Murphy's Law and Phineas and Ferb are in the same universe, that's confirmed, Danville is in one single timeline. The ending of Phineas and Ferb happened with the end of summer, so does that mean this Milo Murphy's Law episode is going to take place during the school year? If that's the case, then we could be looking at a whole different scenario with Phineas and Ferb. Because we've never actually seen them in the school setting, it's been summer in the entire series, that's what Phineas and Ferb is about. This is all just speculation. I'm really not sure when this is going to take place. If the storyline involves Phineas and Ferb building an invention, then it probably takes place in summer, but if not, then I could see it taking place in real time, like after the events of the original series. Either way, I'm still excited for this Milo Murphy's Law Phineas and Ferb crossover. It's going to be really interesting to see, and the fact that they've been building up to it all this time is awesome. But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below to let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.